What's up, guys? Hey, it's Jason here with Notone Amps again, and today we're going to go over a couple different speakers. They're both Ted Weber speakers, but one is a 75 hertz cone, the other one is a 55 hertz cone. 75 hertz cone is more of a modern kind of tone. The 55 hertz cone is going to be more your Hendrix type of tone. More classic rock. It's very similar to the Celestion G12H, the 30 watt version. The 75 hertz cone is going to be more along the lines of the Anniversary, where the 55 hertz cone is going to be more along the lines of the Heritage. If you want a fuller, thicker tone, go with 55 hertz. If you're playing more modern stuff, go with 75 hertz. What you just heard was 75 hertz. Here it is again in the bridge. So that's your 75 hertz cone. It's going to be typical with your later classic rock on up into the present. Also, we're using a unreleased Notone amplifier. It is a head and a cab. We're using Sunday Handwound Pickups. The only pedal that I am using is an XR carbon copy. This particular amp does have the ability to do a normal and a bright channel without changing your channel. It's just on a little flip switch. And what you just heard, everything you heard, was in the normal channel. Now, normal, we'll flip up to bright. So anyway, I want to compare these two speakers. I want you guys, there's a lot of forums out there that talk about 75 hertz versus 55 hertz, which one's better, which one's worse. You know what? Neither one's better, neither one's worse. It all depends on your music style. It depends on your ears. It depends on your guitar, your equipment. It's all rides on you. Personally, I like the 55 hertz. It's nice and mellow. I like mellow tones. I like them warm. I don't like them dark. I don't like them muddy, but I like a warm tone. And to me, when I go up to the bright, and then in the bridge, volume's on about 9.5, tones on 3. This guitar's wired 50s Les Paul style. Seems to have a little bit more bite in the upper end than what I typically like. I like my top end kind of rolled off a little bit more. And when I do this test, when you hear these two speakers, I'm not changing anything. I'm not changing guitars. I'm not changing the way the guitars. The volume controls are going to be the same at 9.5. So it's going to be a real true test. So that's that's the talking, that's the noodling part. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play. I'm going to try to duplicate my playing. I'm not the best player in the world, but I get by. I'm going to try to just do some chords. I think chords is really where you hear all the harmonics, you hear all the tone, everything. So let's hit a couple chords. Let's see what happens. Bridge. That was 75 hertz. Now we're going to do the 55 hertz. Alright, so there you have them. 75 hertz was first, 55 hertz was second after the splice in the video. The reason for the splice, we're using the same amp, the same cab. I actually stopped the video. I changed the speaker out, so none of the settings on the amp changed. The microphone in the exact same spot. Settings on the guitar remain the same, everything. Across the board, nothing changed except the speaker. So I'm going to play the 55 hertz a little bit more, just kind of noodle around. That way you kind of get a feel for it like you did the 75 hertz in the beginning. But that back to back right there, I think truly tells a story. The 55 hertz to me has more character. Obviously the lows are lower, but in my opinion, it's a little bit more aggressive. I think it is more harmonically rich. They're two completely different speakers. The cones are totally different. The 75 hertz uses the normal paper surround. The 55 hertz uses a cloth surround. Both have been, they've been through Weber's pre-roll-a-dope process, which is supposed to emulate the early doping process for the pulsonic cones that Celestion did. Does it? I don't know. I don't have any early Celestion pulsonic cones to go off of. You can get into all of the forum politics you want. I know there was a huge deal between Weber and Scumbag. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I've played them both. Personally, I prefer the Weber. I think the Weber has more harmonics. It sounds richer. It's my ears. So put all the politics aside. Put all of the he said, she said aside. Put the the basket colors aside. Put the brand aside. Put made in the USA aside. Put made in Britain, England aside. Get the speakers, roll through them for yourself. It's really easy to get rid of them on Reverb or eBay. If you decide you don't like them, speakers sell relatively quick, as long as you don't try to get exactly every dime you paid for it out of it. You're going to take a little bit of a hit, sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, you'll have the tone you want. That's really the only way to do it. You can take my word for it. You can watch this video. You're not going to have the same guitar. You're not going to have the same amp unless you call me up and buy one. Will the speakers respond the same? Yes, they will. So you can take that away from these videos and any other video on the internet. You don't have my incredibly blessed guitar playing fingers. I do enough to make some videos and get by and, get through my practice sessions. But at the end of the day, that's what these speaker comparisons are all about. You get just the little nuances between each speaker. So let's go through, let's just kind of noodle around, pick and play a little bit. This is the 55 hertz cone. We're up in the bridge. This is the bright. So at the end of the day, you know, you really have to make your own choice. You got to make your own decisions, just like anything else in life. But I personally prefer that 55 hertz speaker. I like the Hendrix tone, you know. So do what you want, but I encourage you with all these how-to videos, don't take everything I say for face value. It works for me. It works for the amp I'm playing. It works for the guitar I'm using. It works for my style. Go out, get the product, check it out for yourself, see what works for you. You'll have a good one. Bye.